Welcome to part two. We're just waiting for my friend Kent from Belfast to click on. Women love him, men want to be him. Here we go, and here's Kent. How are you doing, Kent? Pop, pop, bang. You there, Kent?
All right, Russell, how's it going?
All right, yeah, part two. Women in boxing, are they taking steroids, and what fighters would you think or would you suspect have grown in size and could be juicing? But we're not saying they are because they passed tests. But what fighters would you say have got bigger?
That's a tricky one. Well, we go back and you look at the whole Amanda Serrano type thing
Yeah,
with the background with her family and that there, and you look at fighters that are involved or were past involved in bodybuilding. That's a red flag right away. If you're in a sport that is notorious for steroids and anabolic, substances.
yeah,
For me, if you're coming from that background into boxing, you shouldn't be allowed to box. There's no way that you should be allowed to come from a sport that isn't a sport
yeah.
and is notorious for steroid use. You shouldn't be allowed to box, Russell. It no way. Why you're gonna have an advantage no matter what, even though you had that advantage, say 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. At some place down the line, you still have a physiological benefit from that. So
Yeah.
you shouldn't be licensed. It shouldn't be fair. No way.
Yeah, a lot of people emailing me saying that they think that Terry Harper all of a sudden has got massive in size. What do you think to that?
I think when you look at Terry Harper's body type, very long levers,
Yeah,
very thin, very like her body
like a
fat.
runner, she's like a runner's physique, isn't it?
Yeah, she's very lean. So she is, and I always thought that Terry Harper was going through malnutrition with body wasn't repairing to make weight. So what happens is when you've got somebody with a really low body fat, high metabolism, and they're trying to cut weight, you're not actually cutting body fat. You're going into your body's muscles. You're going into muscle wastage. So basically, you're not getting the fat. You're getting into muscle tissue, and that's how they make weight, and that's why they have that look really gaunt, uh, look really thin, don't look like they've done the weight. So when it comes down to fight night, their bodies went through so much malnutrition, it's impossible to get really anything back
Yeah.
because they've went through that 8 weeks of cutting weight. You haven't just burned fat and took off a bit of water retention. You've went in the actual tissue, and it's impossible to rehydrate that plus muscle. So when she did step up, what many weights did she step up? Was it two?
Four, wasn't it? I don't know. Which I
She's
don't know. I don't know because there's not much weight. What's your super feather? And she said you go
yeah.
lightweight, light welterweight to light middle. So yeah, it's four, isn't it? Like super
Well,
lightweight, light welt, or that.
well, to be honest with you, the
Fierce.
the way she's looking now is probably the way she looked out of camp then. But
Yeah.
she's not cutting weight now. And what you would see is, yes, she hasn't put any probably weight on. That's
Come
just
back
her
to a
not.
natural weight. Because where
Yeah.
before she always looked to me like you just said malnourished. I always thought that she always looked like starved, didn't she?
Well, that's what it
Looks a bit
is.
healthier now, doesn't she? But
Well,
people are saying
that
that might be, on the old nuts and
no,
shakes.
definitely not. So what you have there is, as I say, you have
Mhm.
a fighter who's long levers,
Yeah.
really low body fat, and once you're trying to cut weight, you've no fat to cut, you've no water retention to
Are you
cut.
like
You
that, Ken?
go,
Because you're quite a thin man, aren't you?
yeah, I'm 5'10" and I'm 10 stone. I used to box at super bantamweight. I actually used to box at
What's that,
flyweight.
8'3" or 8'6"?
Yeah, I used to box at flyweight. bantamweight, and my last fight was at super featherweight. And I think the best I ever felt was at featherweight. I was like 9'3" at that time. I was fighting in club shows and I felt great. But
Yeah.
go back to Terry Harper, when you have no body fat to cut and you have no water retention to cut, the weight cut is horrendous. It's not actually technically a weight cut. Your just body's getting into that. Your body's getting into muscle atrophy where your body's eating its tissue to make weight, and that's why looking so gaunt. So if anyone's thinking that, I don't think so, Russell. I think she's just actually eating food. She's holding her muscle because she's not eating tissue, and she's just having a normal walking around normally. Now, if she was knocking people absolutely unconscious in 1 or 2
And
rounds,
warning signs would be there, wouldn't they?
their last few fights, yeah, I haven't seen any
Same
increase in
sort
power.
of style in it, on back foot in it, and pot shot in it, that kind of thing. Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Do you think it's because of this? Because all the talk at the moment in the boxing industry is matchroom fighters juicing, and you think
yeah,
you think they're getting dragged into it? We all chat on social media.
absolutely, and I don't think there's no way that that's the case.
Would
if
it
you
surprise
seen
you if she popped?
boxing now, Russell, you would turn around and say anyone that pops now, how could you be surprised? It's like the Tour de France 15 years ago. You know, you were just waiting for someone to pop. But cycling was the dirtiest sport in the world. Athletics is the same. You know, you turn the TV on and there's a world record holder popping, and everyone's popping every other week. A few years ago, in athletics sprinting over the years, how many world 100-meter record holders have actually failed tests the last 20
you can
years?
go forever, can't you? I mean, if you go back to Ben Johnson, Carl Lewis failed, Linford Christie got busted, didn't he?
Tyson Gay,
Tyson, I don't know about him, but
Asaf Apal,
did he get done as well? Dwayne Chambers got done, didn't he?
Justin Gatlin was done twice.
What? Did Dennis Mitchell
Twice.
get done? Did Dennis Mitchell get done?
I think he did, yeah. I think he did at the end
They're
of his
all looking
career.
for that edge, aren't they, basically? Do you think Bolt, do you think he were on it?
No, because I look at Usain Bolt's times as a junior, and you watch him as a junior, and you watched him in his career. The style didn't change. The times weren't really,
But you really study all that stuff, don't you?
everything.
Do you ever look for an edge with your running, Kent?
For me, the best when I was competing and the best shape I was ever in, I was like absolutely obsessed, and I mean obsessed. I cut sugar out. I wouldn't drink Coke. I didn't eat chocolate, no crisps.
Yeah.
I went to bed every night at 10:30. My diet was absolutely perfect.
Can you like a machine?
I ate the same thing every day. I literally ate near enough the same thing every day, and I trained. I had certain days I did certain things. 3 days a week, I was doing 3 sessions a day, morning, afternoon, and night. Other 2 days, I was doing twice a day, and the other day was a recovery day where I was still training and running. And I used to go on 2 months on before I had a day off. So that's how focused I was then.
Okay, Ngannou, big John Fury, big fighting man. He's going to be in corner for Tyson, and Mike Tyson's going to be in corner for Ngannou. What do you think to all that, Kent? What's your take on it?
Well, Mike Tyson's stoned 24/7 on podcasts. He's a junkie. When has Mike Tyson ever trained anyone? What does Mike Tyson know about training fighters? Absolutely nothing. Why would he be brought into this? There's no way that I seen a video a couple of years ago with Ngannou actually doing a session with Teddy Atlas, and Teddy Atlas went and took him for a bit of a session and was doing technical work with him. And you know what Teddy's like, he just loves boxing. He just loves being around boxers and teaching. And
Yeah.
he was brilliant. He was brilliant with Ngannou, like marvelous. So
Yeah.
why would you go from having Teddy Atlas working with you, doing proper technical work with you, to a flipping junkie that's never trained anyone in his life? Doesn't make sense. Now, anybody, you go to any gym around the UK or Ireland, and there's always going to be somebody in the gym hitting, taking somebody on the pads. Anybody can hold pads for anybody,
Yeah.
but teaching somebody technically how to box and how to throw correct punches is a completely different matter. So it doesn't make sense. He's been put in there. He's been put in there to help sell this event, and John Fury's going to be in there for this event, and I'm sure they're going to be pushing each other at some press conference, and they're going to need separated, and there's going to be tables going to be lifted, and I'll fight anybody, and you know, all this crap. Do you know what? The whole John Fury thing is boring now. Everybody's caught on to it.
You know, if I had some
You
weight
know-
on me, right? If I had, you know, like 5 or 6 stone on me, I'd get stuck right into him in a proper one. On formats with a couple of my pals, he could have eat one to that. I would get stuck into. He's just too big a man, isn't he, to mess about with on, you know, in like a straight. And he's just a big bloke, isn't he? You know what I mean? But I ain't got time for him because I know what he is. So, but listen, mate, if he can get 8 million quid for fighting Mike Tyson, good luck to him. Because when he got out of jail, is it? I think it's tomorrow. It's 8 years tomorrow since he's been out. He's done well, hasn't he? He was like a mouse when he come out, and now look, the handbrake's more or less well and truly been took off, hasn't it? Oh,
He's just constantly in John mode, really, isn't he? He's just in John mode 24/7. But to be honest with you, you know, he was offered an opportunity a couple of years ago to come out and actually have a fight with somebody.
for Mickey
he didn't.
Mickey Theo. Hey, listen, I went into bat for Mick on that, right? Nobody can say I didn't. I put my neck on line. I didn't know what Mick wanted when he wanted to. Mick said, I want to fight him. Can you help me out? I went, yeah, I've got a few ideas. And obviously, I put them all into practice, didn't I? And I couldn't do any more, Ken. You can't, when you put in billboards up in Manchester, Deansgate, 2 of them there, then around Man City ground, that one on dual carriage, and one up bottom there. It's 4 there. One in under railways in Manchester. There were about 10 or 11 altogether. I couldn't do any more. Personally, I think they were both at fault. Mick wanted paying, he's about money. And I think John, I don't think he was frightened of him. I think he just didn't want to lose, if you know, kind of thing. He had a lot to lose because he'd give it that, hadn't he? And if he'd have got beat, he want this roadman killer. So whatever he doesn't have a fight, he can be known as this roadman. But if he fights Mike Tyson, he loses. But they get to promised land with dough, don't they? Do you see where I'm coming from now? And that all Tyson's career has been based around getting the money. He's been navigated through choppy waters all the way through his career, hasn't he, Tyson? And when you strip his CV bare, what is there? Cunningham, cruiserweight, former cruiserweight, fighting at heavyweight. That were life and death. He got dropped. Vladimir, what were he? 40-year-old. And then we got Wilder 3 times. Fair enough, yeah, Wilder. So we're giving that, but that's not GOAT material, is it?
John McDermott won.
John McDermott, yeah, but he corrected that. And every now and then you do get a decision, don't you, that maybe you shouldn't have got, kind of thing in boxing. But he corrected it, didn't he, at rematch? But he's been navigated through choppy waters. They were off the Lewis Ortiz fight. He didn't fight the Vladimir rematch. Well, we know because it went on Sky, wasn't it? That's why they didn't fight, because he didn't want to do it on Box Nation, did he? Everybody knows that. Why do you want to go on Box Nation to fight when you're not going to get the same money as Sky, are you? Kind of thing. So, but he's been navigated through choppy waters, and they're very shrewd. They get it. They've done very well, very well, very well.
Look at the money he's made, Russell. What do you actually think that he's
what are
made?
they going to spend it on? Why aren't they just giving fans what? Why can't they just give fans what they want? Give that belt if you're not going to defend it, and then come back and get back in rankings anytime you want, but let others fight for it. We're fighting UK because UK is where you made your name, and the holy grail for boxing in the UK is London, where boxing started, and Wembley Stadium. So why can't they just do that for fans? Why? Why can't you do that, Tyson, for fans? Instead of all this sounding on, how can the man in? How can I say to if my lad were interested in boxing and I said, Reggie, do you want to go Saudi? Saudi. It's a right nightmare. The man in the street can't go to watch that with his kids, can he? It's going to be for a lot of rich tops, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's not right, man. It ain't right. That's just how I
It,
feel
it's
about
it's just sport washing, isn't it? Really, it's Saudi with the golf, with football now. Look at Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson for a year was wearing the armband. You know, he's not going to be wearing the armband now when he's playing in Saudi. Boxing now, they're trying to get involved in boxing. But go back to what you were saying about Tyson Fury. So, why boxing at the minute needs a romantic story. It needs something really, really romantic. This backstory that people
what
talk
like
about.
you what like you and Ebony going on a date? You like that, wouldn't you, Kent? Not
Flip
bang.
me. Uh,
We're going red there, Kent.
so you've got boxing now. It needs a romantic story, as you say. What would be better than Tyson Fury saying, "You know what? I'm going to vacate the belt. Somebody go and fight for it, and a year down the line, I'm going to come back and fight for it." It would be massive.
Of course it would, but let others fight for it now and give them an opportunity. And you know what? I'd go, you know what? Isn't that nice for Tyson getting that belt up and then fighting for it? He can always come back, and because he's a big noise, he could just come back anytime he wants. Say, I want to fight for it now. And they'd do that because he's a big draw, and they get that big 3% off at gate, wouldn't they? But the WBC, for the sanction fees, but he just can't do it because they're still bitter about what happened to him after Vladimir fight, because they were treated like mongrels, weren't they? Really, they won't want them.
Yeah, they weren't treated well at all by the press. But you look at it from the WBC's perspective. WBC is a business. They are a sanctioning body, but primarily they exist because they are a business. The bigger the purse bigger the purse split, the more money they get. So it makes sense for them instead to keep the belt on Tyson Fury, which is really, really bad. But can you imagine if Fury gave the belt up and said, right, there's a tournament there, WBC set up a tournament, the winner of the tournament's a WBC champion, I'll go in and I'll fight you. That would be absolutely massive, Russell. Massive. And it means that heavyweights are actually actively fighting each other, and it would open up the whole division, and the WBC will get more credibility from that, and they'll get their sanction fees with the tournament. If there's a tournament, and they'll have a big massive purse split when Fury comes back, it would make sense. It would make sense.
You saw the video I did earlier. I rinsed and roasted Sam Jones. Do you remember 27 months ago when he was supposed to be coming on Porky's Corner on Zoom and he didn't? Well, I did a video today because it pissed me off. Because 8 months ago he said that Derek Chisoni is protecting from himself and should retire, blah, blah, blah. And then yesterday he did a video on IFL. So the first one was seconds out. Yesterday on IFL he's saying, get Derek Chisoni in with Joshua. So I've roasted him. He's gone on Instagram and sent something to Instagram. I ain't got an Instagram account. There's a Porky's Corner account. It's run by a kid called Craig. I think he's from out Boltonish, Bury, up that sort of way. And I've got it here on my phone. And he's saying he wants to come on Zoom or do a Craig, or do he'll come and see me personally. So if he wants to come and do that, I ain't got a problem with that, Sam. But don't say you're gonna do and then cock off. If you want to come and see me, you're more than welcome. And that's good of him. He wants to front it out, so shows a bit of class. I've got some questions here. I'm not going to tickle his arsehole like the rest of them do. I'll put it on him, right? And I'm going to set my stall out for all the rest of these lot because they're going to come to me now. All right, they're going to come to me. So Sam Jones, you can come to my office. I'll make you a cuppa. Mr. Pork, we've had this before. I'll talk to You anytime, sir. As for my comment, watch the interview. I say it on both interviews. Derek should be retired. Why are you coming out on IFL saying get Derek in there? That's not saying he should be retired, unless I've heard you wrong. And then Craig's replied, I ain't told him to do this, but he's like, you never email Sam, drop us a line and we'll get a Zoom set up whenever you're ready. Pop, bank picture of a pig. We can do it in person, Sam says. I've told you before, if I thought you was a wanker, I enjoy your content. So, Sam Jones, you've said it now. Get in touch, porkycorner@mail.com, and you come down, you can come and see me. And I will set the camera up, and I've got 5 questions I'm going to ask you. So don't you be a bottle job. All right. What is going to answer to these questions? I don't know, because there's a slippery so-and-so in it. They are, aren't they? Most of them, if the back's into a corner when they're put on for sport, they generally lie, don't they? I've seen it before. I've seen many promoters do it. But he's willing to come on channel or come and see me. So I think that's good. And hopefully the rest of them will, because if not, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And like I said, Ken, when that ice breaks, I'll be underneath it. But well done for getting in touch. He likes to be Mr. Transparent, so he might be a likeable kid. But he looks to me like he's an arse licker. So we're going to see, aren't we, if he's an arse licker. So I'm ruthless, aren't I? I'm ending up tether with these people, though. Do you know what I mean? He's saying he's going to do this and do that for Joe Joyce. Couldn't even get him a title shot when he was mandatory. And he's going to do this and do that for Cattrall. Well, what's he doing for Cattrall? He's fighting Linares, who's just lost 5 of his last 8, hasn't he? Shot to bits, old man, fighting at an higher weight. What is all that about? So he ain't got the Josh Taylor fight, has he, for him? Whether it's politics, I don't know, but I think that I'm of the personal opinion that he goes into these meetings with these big dog promoters and they're just tying him in knots, and he's just grateful to be there. He needs to start putting his foot down, get lawyers on job. You know, Carlos Howland and Mick Hennessy, to be fair to them, when their guys are in position, they're not bothered if they make it or the promoter. They fire lawyer letters, don't they, and get it going. Get the shows on, although I don't know what's happened to Callum at the moment. Like, I think he's away with fairies, isn't he? So that's good. That's good. I ain't chasing about for interviews. I ain't doing it, mate. I'm not doing it. Like I said, we're going to keep moving forward. They're going to have to come to moi. You remember the one who went to interview Alan Minter? Yeah, you thought you were clever sending me down there, didn't you, to interview Alan Minter? They all had a good laugh about that one, didn't they? Me, 20 hours on road.
Cracker.
In the middle of fucking Medway in Kent. I'm like, where is he? Where's Alan?
That's brilliant.
That's
class.
Bless him, not long after that, he passed away, Alan Minter. I was a bit devastated. But so I'm not chasing about no more. I've done all that. Did all that when I was up there with Big Ron. They're going to come to me now. So, and if they don't, they don't. It won't affect me. I'm not getting paid for having him down there, am I? It's going to cost me a coffee, innit? And a bun or a penguin. But it's nice for him to do that. So I'm going to tip my hat off to your young.
Listen, Russell, if Big Malk can redeem himself,
Big Mal,
surely Sam Jones can.
He's not welcome, Big Mal, at my factory. But Big Mal, he's a hero of mine today. But I don't want him coming around because he might start, trying to soften me up and be my pal. I don't want to be his pal. But I like what he did, and he might be a decent kid, Spencer Fair. I might have him all wrong, but he didn't cover himself in glory with that Oscar Rivers thing, and that was the first thing that triggered me off with him. And it's been downhill, my opinion of him ever since. But for him to come out and do that, he's got some respect from me. And Ozzy were on about it earlier, and they're like, look at this from Big Malk. So Big Malk's turned over a new leaf, hasn't he? Maybe Don Charles has had an effect on him. And the other geezer, Purple Tunde, I don't know. But good luck to him, Big Malk now. I'm not saying I want to go out for a beer with him, but for him to do that. But Dylan White, let me tell you this. Dylan White's an intimidating bloke, and he puts his scent about at these shows. And if there's been anything said by any YouTubers or anybody, he comes over and he puts it on you, and he's not going to slap you. He's got these big units with him, and it's intimidating. And I think, you know what? In end, I think people just got fed up of it in end, and I've just listened to Big Malk's interview with Ian. He was saying, look, Dylan White ain't liked because he's got that bit of an attitude, but he's carried it on all the time, hasn't he? instead of trying to turn it on and off like Chisora does, because Chisora's got a lovely side, you know, to a very nice, very generous person. Derek turns it on and off, but Dylan done is so time, innit? He's got that. Do you know what I mean? He's hard work to be around. Trust me, and everybody's treading on eggshells around him. And it's same with Big John Fury, you know. They're all frightened to death, you know, because he puts it on them, doesn't he, behind the scenes, John? Nobody dare ask out. And these people shouldn't be allowed around these media people and that, because they're all on edge. All of them. You know I wouldn't be, don't you? If I had a press pass, don't you? You know, Ken. And I can know. Only I need to know. If I had a press pass, I won't let them escape me. What are they going to do? Punch me? For what? Asking a question? Crack on. I hope you've got deep pockets, because these were dear.
Yeah, it's that whole thing that he constantly. I remember back in the day when he signed with Eddie Hearn. Eddie took him on.
Who did?
From Dillian White.
You know, when he had that purple Top Man jacket, 95 quid jacket from Top Man, the purple one. Do you remember it?
Yeah, well, flip me.
What were you doing there, man? What, Dylan? What was that? Who did you
that? Was
I want
that was gruesome.
With a red one. They're called the box jacket, aren't they?
that was gruesome. I remember he had it one of his first fights in Sky, and they built him, and Eddie built him, and that was coming off a drugs ban with no TV promoter. He actually fought in Belfast on a Carl Frampton undercard, and I remember him being about backstage and being around, and he didn't seem to be, you know, as nice as everybody else. Everybody seemed okay, but he always, even back then, he had that chip in his shoulder, and Eddie got him. Let's be honest, Eddie got him a lot of opportunities, got him multiple pay-per-views, and he still got a chip in his shoulder with Eddie. What you know, if you're going to have a chip over your shoulder with somebody that made you a multi-millionaire, you know, what's your problem, really? You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be satisfied.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. But what band do you think White will get?
He has to have a 4 year, but has to be a 4 year ban.
That's what I was thinking. I wouldn't have thought they could give him any other. Liam Cameron, first offence, minute traces of cocaine, 4 year. IBF number 12, Commonwealth champion, 20-odd-year-old, whatever he was, late 20s, 4 year ban. How bad's that?
That should be the standard. That should be the standard, regardless if it's
career over 4 years, because you go back to your body being normal, doesn't it? You go back, you're not ardent at body shots, are you? And
as I say, how can you train for 4 years when basically probably Liam wasn't making that much? He wouldn't have been making massive money at the time anyway, where he could have time off and train 24/7. That 4 years means you've no income from boxing, and you're going to have to get a job, and it's going to be really hard.
Or you're going to have to go on a hard road.
The work full time and the train to keep your body in check, with knowing you're not going to fight for 4 years, must be really, really hard to stay motivated. Impossible.
He's left Chris. He's training at Grant Smith's Steel City Gym, which used to be Chris's gym, didn't they? Gave it up, didn't he, Chris? He's training with him, Dalton Smith's old man, isn't it? Training with him, Liam. Well, I don't think he's the same fighter though. I hope he is, because he's a lovely kid, and I get on really well with him, and we all like Liam. But I don't think it's going to be the same fighter like that. But you never know, do you? I don't know. I mean, I hope he is, but I don't think you can tell. I mean, it's 5 year, 3 months, 5 year, 4 months since his last fight. It's too long, isn't it?
It neurologically as well. Your body gets older. Your brain, your reflexes, your punch resistance.
Well, mine had last 5 year. Kent, I couldn't get out of bed 5 years ago. Now look at me. But no, as regards boxing, yeah. Liam's not going to be IBF number 12 now. He'd probably be area English level if he were lucky, wouldn't he?
It happened that time when Scott Harrison had that massive break. He was world champion from Scotland. He went on a trail of destruction of himself, drinking, alcohol. He came back like 3 years later and was like basically a British level fighter, an average British level fighter. And Scott Harrison at that time was probably one of the best featherweights in the world at the time. You know, featherweight slash super featherweight. He was a massive, massive featherweight. So coming back 3, 4 years later, as I say, from being probably the best fighter in the world to a British level fighter and struggling against British level fighters and losing at British level, it's a big ask, Russell. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It's but I wish Liam all the best and his partner Tanya.
He's been hard done by, Russell. He really
He's had a
has.
terrible time, Liam. His daughter got died in a car crash as well. You know.
Oh, God bless him. That's
Yeah.
really sad. Awful, awful, and you know that's terrible. But you look at from him getting a 4 year ban for that to all these drug cheats in boxing,
It's
failing
disgusting.
multiple
They made an
pieces,
example out of Liam. They made an example.
disgraceful, really, really bad. And now there's a thing there a lot of months back that Kell Brook was caught taking cocaine in a video. It was all over
Yeah, but
social
he's
media.
not training all out, is he? And it's his own house,
But they're
isn't it?
but they're talking about him coming back and
I
getting
don't
a
want to see
fight.
Kel come back. But if he does come back, I don't want to
But
see
how,
Flex. I don't want to see him with Flex. I want to see him with Fuki, and I want to see him punch Conor Benn upside down. Punch him upside down, Kel. But I don't want you to be with Flex. No, I don't want you to be because no, you need Fuki. Go back with Fuki. Why? Fuki were with Fuki. They won with Fuki, then left. I don't work that out. What's all that about? Who got into his head? You know, it's about money, and Fuki won't be as dear as Dominic, will he? If he fights Crusher. You know what I mean? Eh?
yeah, it's just it would be frustrating for Liam to see that fight being made. He got 4 year ban for having minute traces of that in his system. Where Kell Brook, yeah, he done that thing happened last year, but can get his license and come back and fight. You would feel hard done by that, wouldn't you? You really would.
Of course you would. But if Kel does come back, I'd like to see him fight the Crush and crush him. Give him one of them chocolate brownies, Kel, right there on chin. Boom. Pop, pop, bang.
I don't want to see. I really don't want to see Kell Brook come back.
I don't really want to, but if he does come back, I'd be all up for him knocking Crush up onto putting him on planet orbit. I would.
So would I. So would I. But love it for him to come back but I don't want to see him come back and job for somebody like Conor Benn. I don't like Conor Benn one bit. He's a weapon.
Yeah, Conor Benn's a weapon. He's not endeared himself to the British public at all, has he really?
No, he's a weapon. I don't like him.
Well, they're going to play pantomime villain now, aren't they? It's nobody trying to be Mr. Nice Guy, but if he gets a ban, I think they're looking around all schools as this. No, just say no. You know, like Zamo and Grange Hill when he said, no, don't take heroin, just say no. And I'm like, what's this heroin? You know, now about 12, and I'm like 20 years later. But no, drugs are for mugs and boozers are losers. Well, that's this month's theory anyway. I don't know what I'm going to be like in September.
One day at a time, Russell.
1 month at a time. Yeah. Well, listen, mate. We can only try, can't we? I'm in a good place mentally. Although I never cry about mental health. Everybody has the problems, don't they? You just got to get up on with it, haven't you? There were no mental health in the 70s. You were classed as a freak. They'd lock you up in an asylum if you started coming out. You know, I can't go to work in morning dark coal mines. Why not? You've got 2 kids and a dog and a mortgage. Well, I've got mental health. Can we get me out the sick? There was none of that in them days. You went to work or you starved. Pop, fucking bang, innit? So
you're on fire.
It's like my 2, isn't it? My 2 kids, they're like, I said, well, let's get these leaves cleaned up. What? Leaves? Yeah, leaves in garden, you pick them up. My old man had me doing snow, leaves, and that. They're like that on the beds. Oh, I've got Roblox on. Can't be doing that. I've just texted my friend who's 2 miles away. So we've been texting her all day. Let's get these leaves up. Slugs. I don't want to hear it, but they're destined in the next few years to be going, I can't do that, my mental health. it spreads like a cancer, this mental health excuse stuff. You know that, don't you, Ken? Everything's mental health. They play mental health card or race card. And I'm here with it. Sorry about all them people who keep telling me about your problems and all that in emails and stuff. And, you know, good luck to you and that. But, you know, tough it out. Tough it out. Do you know what I mean? I know it's harsh, but how do they think people go on in jail when they're locked up for the poll tax and they've got 3 months and they've never been in trouble in their lives? They're like devastated for 48 hours and then they adapt because human beings adapt and you get on with it. If I put a dog lead on you, Ken, and I'm a prison school and I'm going to walk you in and out of your cell every day for years and years and years, like CB, Charlie Bronson, CB, he's in blocking all the time. Eventually you adapt to it, don't you? He's adapted to that to 40 years of that. He hasn't topped his son or gone on about his mental health. He just got on with it, hasn't he?
He loves it.
Well, because you become hey, listen, after 2 or 3 years in there, mate, you do a little bit. You get your little, you know, you have your visits, phone calls, your letters, you go to gym. You get into a routine, and it goes. It's all about killing time. It goes, Ken. But you have a moan at first, but then you adapt. And I want my kids to adapt, but they can't. They can't even go golf. Let's go over here, get some golf balls and Cookville Golf Club. It's like finding treasure to kids, isn't it? Golf balls. Every golf ball we find, I'm going to give you £1. Oh, I don't want to go. Don't want to go, Dad. Well, why? Oh, it's cold. Well, put your coat on. You wellies. Oh, no. I want to watch this on iPad. Fucking hear with it, mate. I'm here. I'm telling you now, mate. I am here with it. They're like slugs. They're like slugs. And I don't know if other parents have got the same problems, but you're like kicking them upside down, but you can't. You can't lay a finger on them because they tell the teacher, and it's the golden rule of the report. You say you can't done out. I mean, fair enough, I were a little bastard one. I used to get pit belt, didn't I, all the time? But you can't do that now, can you? So you've got to just take it on chin, haven't you? Come on, we're going out with dogs. No. Get out of my room. What is all that? But anyway, listen, it's been great having you on, Ken. Who's your tip from Britain for a world champion next year? Who's going to win a world title? Who's a really good prospect at the moment in UK?
Really like Dennis McCann, Russell.
Yeah, that's what I said in a video earlier. Dennis McCann. I just think he's got everything. I like he glides across the ring, doesn't he? He's really
he's a brilliant fighter. He is very level-headed. He's very sensible. He's been built really, really well. He comes across as a really good kid. Like he comes across as his personality is brilliant. He's a good.
He's very special. He's very special, and I just think he's got everything. And do you know what? He's only going to get better. He's that good.
I just love how he punches off angles and pivots and moves his head and switch hits and
really good. Isn't he?
He's a super fighter. Absolutely, he's probably one of my. Nick Ball's another really good fighter. He is a savage. He's a completely different fighter, a completely different style. So it's either Nick Ball or Dennis McCann.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. You have a great Sunday. When do you want me to put this out, Ken? These 2 videos. It's 10 to 7. What time do you want to go now?
Well, on Sunday night, there's no other good boxing content on, so put it on at 7, 7:30. There's nothing else on YouTube.
All right then, mate. You take care.
Peace out.
Peace out.